Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I'm your host, David Wright. I just want to get on here and talk to you real quick about the U.S. roster that was announced last week. We have some games coming up in October. That roster is out. I'm going to talk about it here in just a second. Before I do want to mention that the MLS regular season is very quickly coming to a close, and teams are starting to punch their ticket to the playoffs. A lot more spots have been wrapped up now. We do still have 5 teams competing for the final 3 spots in the West, and we have 4 teams competing for the final 3 spots in the East. However, in the East, Miami has been officially eliminated. They will not be making a playoff run this year. Messi has been hurt, has been missing games. His former Barcelona teammate, Jordi Alba, has also been missing, and they've been dropping points since then. It's it's maybe disappointing, but we want Messi to heal and be ready to go for next year. They've got CONCACAF Champions Cup coming up at the beginning of 2024, and we're all looking forward to that. I do want to mention something that was pretty cool that happened last week. I think it's pretty exciting. Chicago has largely been one of the least supported and worst attended clubs in the league. They had a soccer-specific stadium outside of the city for years, and no one was going to those games. People in the city they barely even knew where it was. So they have returned to their original home of Soldier Field, and they'll share that NFL stadium with the Bears, and it just makes their crowds look even worse because no one shows up, and it's a much bigger stadium, and it's really just been kind of embarrassing. They bring the league average down a lot almost every week, and the team obviously has also not been very good for a long time. They sold out Soldier Field last Wednesday. Over 61,000 fans packed in because they were playing Miami. They paid a premium to get in, believing they would have a chance to see Leo Messi play some soccer right in front of them. It didn't happen because Leo's hurt. He missed the game. But here's what happened that was cool. The owners of the Chicago Fire announced that anybody that attended the game would receive a credit for a future game, or if they choose, a discount on season tickets for next year. I think that is a brilliant move. You want to get your product in front of people. You want them to sample it. The game day experience for MLS is so much fun, especially when there's a crowd and they're into it. And that's exactly what the scene was last week. And those 61,000 fans got a show. Chicago showed up. They scored 4 goals on Miami, and it was a rocking good time. And if those fans come back, use that credit the owner's given them, and they come back and they get 2 experiences like that, they get 2 awesome, fun game day experiences at the soccer field, I think you're going to turn quite a few of them into regular customers. So I hope that that move pays off. I think it's a brilliant move. I'm excited for Chicago. I want to see the attendance improve there. Here's the thing about Major League Soccer, because they're not sitting on some huge billion-dollar TV contract the way NFL, NBA do. So much depends on game day revenue. And you can literally help your team by attending matches. You're spending money on tickets, parking, concession, merchandise. All of that profit goes toward can go toward paying transfer fees to bring new players in. If it's not going to the salaries of DPs, it is at least encouraging to the owners to open up the purse strings and spend that money. You can literally support your team, literally make your team better if you're going and supporting, giving them your money. And if Chicago will do that, the owner is going to be encouraged. If you can get more spending, get better players in, and remind people of Chicago that they have a soccer team, I believe they can turn around their support problem. And so I hope that happens. Chicago entered the league in 1998, and they were very good for their first few years. They had tons of great players on their team, and I would love to see Chicago return to greatness. But I'm talking about MLS way too much. The United States soccer men's team has released their roster for October, and I want to tell you that these games are coming up pretty soon. Coming up on Saturday, the first game will be taking place 3:00 in the afternoon from Connecticut. They're taking on Germany. The second game will be played on Tuesday. It'll be in Nashville against our old World Cup rivals, Ghana. This is our top team. Don't think we're sending in a B squad or a C squad. Okay, this is basically our World Cup team. This is our top squad. We have Pulisic, we have Weah, we have Aronson, we have Musa, we have McKinney, we have Dest, we even have Gio Reyna. Talk about him in a second. Though the one big name from our core that we're missing is Tyler Adams. If you followed them in the World Cup, if you've been following this channel, these are all names that should be known to you. Tyler Adams still aggravated in injury, so there's no telling how much longer he's going to be out. Of course, one of the big stories is Reyna's inclusion. All the drama between Berhalter and Reyna's parents, and apparently when Berhalter got rehired, he didn't reach out right away to Reyna. Reyna didn't make the first camp because he was nursing an injury. He's back. Who knows what that relationship is like? A lot of eyes are going to be on the two of them, and also on if Reyna plays, does he start? How does he perform? How do his teammates treat him? All of that kind of stuff. I hope he does start. I really like him as a player. I hope he starts in the middle. With Tyler Adams out, there's an opportunity to place him there. You put him in the middle, and it gives you another chance to bring in one of these wingers that otherwise would be forced to sit on the bench. And I think a lot of good things can happen. I want to see that look for the U.S. We've seen it before, and I thought it was really strong. But we do have a lot of familiar names up and down the field. We're only bringing 2 goalkeepers. It's going to be Matt Turner. It's going to be the obvious starter, and we have Ethan Horvath backing him up. Defense, Miles Robinson is back, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold on to his spot. He was kind of the penciled-in starter for the last couple of years, but we got some other center backs in that people are really high on, and Chris Richards and Cameron Carter-Vickers. It's going to be interesting to see what type of minutes Miles gets. Anthony Robinson is not on this roster. I don't exactly know his status. I assume he's been hurt. But that Christopher Lund guy, the guy that was new in the last camp that I never heard of, he is in this camp. I wonder if we're going to see him at left back. I suspect that we probably will. There's one name on here that I am unfamiliar with. I believe it is Leonard Maloney. That is, I don't know who that is. That's a brand new name for me. I haven't heard anything about him. I assume usually when it's a new name being brought in for their first camp, they generally don't get any minutes on the field. It's the important part there is for them to just get called into camp, for them to have that time with the team in front of the coaches. And so I assume that's what's going to happen there. We will see. We got a couple of young guys that I believe they were on the Gold Cup squad, and Dwan Jones and Kevin Paredes. They're back. I think these are names that were missing in the last cycle that we're starting to mix in. You want to see that? You keep your core, right? Your big stars, and then you bring in, you mix it with new names and new faces, and you just look for pieces that are going to work well together. Anyway, this is our squad. All right, if you're going to follow this team, this is the team you want to follow. These are friendly matches. It's not any kind of tournament. No points on the line. No trophy to play for. But that's what international soccer is all about. You're playing in these friendlies, and everything you're doing is preparing your team and trying to get them ready in time for the next World Cup. And we are looking for quality opponents. We didn't get them in the last window. We have them now. Okay, these are quality opponents. Who knows how many we're going to get? But Germany and Ghana, they absolutely they qualify. Right? They count. These are going to be tough games. Who knows if we're going to win them? Right? We might not win. The risk of playing good opposition is you might lose the games. But what we're looking for here, more important than a win, is going to be how we play and how we play together and what pieces work the best. What's the combination for the starting line, for the best lineup for the U.S. to be able to play the best brand of soccer. Anyway, these games are coming up. They're going to be played on TNT, and they're going to be played on Peacock. I'm pretty sure Peacock's going to be Spanish language. You can catch these on TNT and Peacock. It's going to be played in the afternoon on Saturday against Germany, and then next Tuesday night in prime time, you'll be able to see them play Ghana from Nashville. Very close to me. I wish I can be there. I'm going to miss it, but I'll definitely be watching on TV. I hope you will watch some of this soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time.